There's a question I hear from men all the time, but they rarely say it out loud. They ask it in their heads, in the middle of the night, or they type it into Google at 1 a.m. when no one's looking. Is this it? Is my body just done? If you're over 50, maybe you've noticed it. You wake up and your energy is just flat. The morning drive you used to count on isn't there. Your legs feel heavier on the stairs, and yes, things down below aren't quite as responsive as they used to be. Quick reality check. Did you know that according to the Massachusetts Male Aging Study, over 50% of men age 50 to 70 experience some degree of erectile difficulty? And much of it isn't caused by age itself, but by lifestyle and nutrition? So let me ask you, when was the last time you felt your mornings were truly switched on? Drop your answer in the comments. Why if you have, and if you haven't in a while. Most men shrug and say, well, that's just age. But here's the truth I've seen in over 20 years working with men's health. It's not just age. In fact, in many cases, it's something far simpler and far easier to fix. I had a patient, let's call him Mark, who came to me at 64, convinced his best days were behind him. He wasn't sleeping well, he felt slower, and intimacy had become awkward. When I asked about his mornings, he laughed and said, "Doc, I just grab coffee and hope for the best." What we discovered next surprised him, and it might surprise you too. Because the problem wasn't his age, or his genes, or something broken inside him. It was what he was or wasn't putting on his plate at breakfast. Your first meal of the day isn't just about calories, it's a signal. It tells your blood vessels, your hormones, your nerves exactly how they're going to perform for the rest of the day. And right now, most men are sending the wrong signal without even knowing it. So today I want to share 5 simple foods you probably already have in your kitchen, that can fire up blood flow, restore muscle response, and support testosterone naturally. No prescriptions, no gimmicks, no extreme diets. Just targeted real food that works with your body, not against it. Think of it like tuning up a classic car. You can't expect the engine to roar if you keep filling the tank with watered-down fuel. And I promise, if you stick with me until the end, you'll walk away with a simple, doable plan you can start tomorrow morning and feel the difference within days. Let's start with the first one. An old classic that, when paired the right way, can completely change the way your body delivers blood and oxygen where it matters most. The science of morning performance. Why breakfast matters more after 50. Most men don't realize this, but your body runs on a very specific morning schedule. In those first few hours after you wake up, your testosterone levels are at their daily peak, your blood vessels are most responsive, and your nervous system is primed to send strong, clear signals to your muscles, including the ones in your pelvic floor. This is nature's way of giving you a head start. The problem is, after 50, that window becomes even more important, and most men waste it without knowing. Picture 2 mornings. In the first, a man rolls out of bed, pours a large mug of coffee, maybe grabs a muffin or a slice of toast, then sits. His blood sugar spikes, then crashes. His vessels tighten, and that natural testosterone surge fades before he's even showered. In the second, he fuels up with nutrient-rich foods that keep his blood vessels open, feed his hormones, and give his muscles the building blocks they need to respond. It's like choosing between starting your day with a clear highway ahead or with roadblocks, potholes, and traffic jams. Which one do you think gets you where you want to go faster? Same man, same age, totally different outcome. I had a patient named Ron, 62, who thought breakfast was optional. He skipped it for years. When he finally started eating a targeted morning meal, just one change, he told me, "Doc, it's like my engine actually starts now." That's not magic, that's biology. After 50, your body isn't as forgiving about skipped nutrients. The right breakfast amplifies your natural morning advantages, keeps your blood flow steady, and sets the tone for your energy, strength, and even confidence the rest of the day. Ignore it, and you're coasting on fumes. Feed it right, and you're running on premium fuel. And speaking of premium fuel, let's talk about the first, simple, everyday food that can open your arteries and strengthen the very muscles that keep you feeling like yourself, starting with a humble bowl of oats. Food number 1, oats with pumpkin seeds, the artery and pelvic muscle primer. Let's start with something so simple you might overlook it. Old-fashioned rolled oats topped with a spoonful of pumpkin seeds. Oats are rich in a special type of fiber called beta-glucan. Think of beta-glucan like a gentle scrub brush for your arteries. It helps lower LDL, the bad cholesterol, and improves the flexibility of your blood vessels. Flexible vessels mean your blood can flow more freely, carrying oxygen and nutrients right down to the pelvic muscles that support performance, bladder control, and mobility. Now, add pumpkin seeds, and you've turned a good breakfast into a powerhouse. These little seeds are loaded with zinc, magnesium, and plant-based omega-3s. Zinc is essential for testosterone production. Magnesium helps your muscles contract and relax properly. Omega-3s keep inflammation low, protecting your nerves and blood vessels. In fact, research from the University of Massachusetts found that men with higher dietary magnesium had up to 24% higher free testosterone levels compared to those deficient. And zinc? Low levels have been linked to a direct drop in sperm quality and hormonal health. I had a patient named Harold, 68, who told me mornings felt like a slow crawl. He'd have coffee, maybe a slice of toast, and by 10 a.m., he was ready for a nap. I suggested swapping that for a warm bowl of oats with pumpkin seeds and a pinch of cinnamon. 10 days later, he called me and said, "Doc, I don't know what's happening, but my legs feel warmer, I have more energy, and let's just say my mornings are different." That's not a miracle. It's what happens when you give your body the raw materials it's been missing. If your arteries are like garden hoses, beta-glucan helps keep them flexible. And the minerals in pumpkin seeds are the pressure regulators that keep flow steady. The truth is, after 50, your body doesn't bounce back from nutrient gaps the way it used to. But it will respond, sometimes quickly, when you start feeding it what it needs. And if oats and pumpkin seeds can make this kind of change in less than 2 weeks, wait until you see what the next food can do for your circulation, especially in the areas that matter most. Food number 2, watermelon, nature's gentle ED support. Now, let's talk about something that feels more like summer fun than a health tool, watermelon. Most men think of it as just a sweet, refreshing snack, but inside this fruit is one of nature's most effective circulation boosters, L-citrulline. This amino acid converts into nitric oxide in your body, the same molecule that helps relax blood vessels and improve blood flow. The very same pathway used by many well-known ED medications, but without the prescription or side effects. For men over 50, that's huge because better blood flow means more oxygen and nutrients reaching the pelvic muscles, nerves, and tissues that make you feel alive and responsive. A study from Texas A&M University found that L-citrulline supplementation improved erection hardness in men with mild ED within just 4 weeks, and watermelon is one of the richest natural sources. I once worked with Greg, 64, a retired engineer who said his mornings felt heavy, low energy, tightness in his legs, and a general sluggishness that made him avoid walks with his wife. We made one small change. Before anything else in the morning, he'd eat a bowl of fresh watermelon. No sugar on top, no fancy prep, just ripe, juicy slices on an empty stomach. A week later, he emailed me, "Doc, I don't know if it's the fruit or magic, but I feel like something's moving again." That's not magic. It's nitric oxide doing its job. Think of nitric oxide as your body's green light signal. It tells blood to go where it needs to, without traffic jams in your arteries. The key is timing. Eating watermelon first thing, before your main breakfast, gives your body a better shot at absorbing and using that L-citrulline efficiently. And if you want to take it up a notch, blend it with cucumber and mint for extra hydration and a cooling start to your day. This isn't about chasing quick fixes. It's about working with your biology. And once you see how a simple fruit can wake up your circulation, you'll be ready for our next food, one that feeds your muscles, nerves, and hormones all at once without spending a fortune. Hard-boiled eggs. Hormone and nerve fuel. Now let's move to something you probably already have in your kitchen, eggs. Not scrambled, not fried, but hard-boiled. Why? Because hard boiling keeps all the nutrients intact without adding extra oils, and it's one of the simplest ways to start your day with a complete protein source. Each egg contains all 9 essential amino acids, plus vitamin B12, vitamin D, healthy cholesterol, and a nutrient called choline. Choline is especially important for men over 50 because it supports the production of acetylcholine, a neurotransmitter that helps your nerves communicate with your muscles, including the pelvic floor muscles that control erections, bladder function, and stability when you move. In fact, research published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition shows that higher choline intake is linked to better cognitive and neuromuscular performance in older adults. I remember Steven, a 70-year-old retired firefighter, who came to me saying he felt unsteady on his feet and sluggish until noon. His breakfast? 2 slices of toast with jelly and a large coffee. I suggested replacing that with 2 hard-boiled eggs and a glass of water. No supplements, no extra steps, just a small swap. Within 2 weeks, Stephen told me, "Doc, I feel like my legs actually listen to me now, and things below the belt seem more responsive." That's the power of feeding your muscles and nerves what they need first thing in the morning. Think of eggs as precision-engineered fuel capsules, compact, balanced, and ready to power both your muscles and your hormonal engine. And here's the myth-busting part. The cholesterol in eggs does not raise heart disease risk for most people. In fact, eggs can improve your HDL, the good cholesterol, helping your heart and vessels stay strong. For best results, pair your eggs with a handful of leafy greens or sliced tomatoes to add antioxidants and nitrates. It's a small change, but it can transform how your body performs throughout the day. And if you think that sounds impressive, wait until you see what the next food can do for your circulation. It's nature's pre-workout in a glass. Food number 4, beetroot juice, the vascular turbocharger. If you want a natural way to wake up your circulation without relying on caffeine, beetroot juice might be your secret weapon. Beets are loaded with natural nitrates, which your body converts into nitric oxide, the same powerful molecule we've already talked about that relaxes blood vessels and improves blood flow. But here's the key difference. The nitrate content in beets is exceptionally high, meaning a small serving can create a noticeable effect on endurance, stamina, and, yes, pelvic blood flow. For men over 50, that's critical because as we age, our nitric oxide production declines, making it harder to deliver oxygen and nutrients to muscles and nerves. One 2015 study in the Journal of Applied Physiology found that beet juice improved exercise endurance by 16% in older adults, enough to make daily activities feel easier and more energizing. I had a patient, Alan, 66, a retired firefighter who loved cycling but found himself getting winded halfway through his usual route. We added 200 ml of fresh beetroot juice to his mornings, just a small glass before breakfast. Within 2 weeks, he told me, "Doc, I'm riding longer without that burning in my legs, and honestly, I feel better in more ways than one." To get the best results, drink beetroot juice fresh and unheated. Heat can destroy the nitrates. You can juice raw beets yourself or buy cold-pressed juice, but skip the canned beets in syrup. The added sugar cancels out many benefits. Think of beet juice as a pressure washer for your blood vessels, clearing the way so your circulation can work at full power. And once you see how quickly your body responds to better blood flow, you'll be ready for our final food, small enough to fit in the palm of your hand, yet powerful enough to impact testosterone, nerve health, and overall vitality. Food number 5, Brazil nuts, the testosterone and nerve regenerator. Our final food might be the smallest on the list, but it packs a punch big enough to impact your hormones, nerves, and overall vitality. The Brazil nut. Just 1 or 2 of these each day can supply more than your daily requirement of selenium, a mineral that plays a critical role in testosterone production, sperm quality, and antioxidant defense. Selenium also supports nerve regeneration and helps protect the myelin sheath, the insulation around your nerves that keep signals fast and sharp. For men over 50, this matters more than ever. Studies have linked optimal selenium intake with up to a 20% increase in testosterone levels in selenium-deficient men. Low selenium has also been correlated with slower nerve conduction and reduced vitality. I once worked with Charles, 72, who was feeling run down and frustrated by slow progress in the gym. His blood work showed his selenium levels were low, which is surprisingly common in older adults. We added 2 Brazil nuts to his breakfast, alongside a protein source, and within 3 months, his energy was steadier, his mood had lifted, and he told me, "Doc, I can't remember the last time I felt this solid." But here's the thing. With Brazil nuts, more is not better. Too much selenium can be harmful, so stick to 1 or 2 nuts a day. Think of them as potent supplements, not snacks to eat by the handful. Imagine them as tiny hormone spark plugs, small parts that keep your entire engine firing efficiently. The power of Brazil nuts is in their consistency. Small daily doses that quietly support your hormonal foundation and nerve health over time. And when you combine them with the other 4 foods we've talked about, you're giving your body the full spectrum of tools it needs to keep your circulation strong, your muscles responsive, and your confidence intact. Starting from the very first meal of the day. Action plan and motivation, your 5-minute morning upgrade. We've covered a lot today. 5 simple, powerful foods that work with your biology to improve circulation, support hormone production, and keep your muscles and nerves firing the way they should. But information without action changes nothing. The real magic happens when you take what you've learned and put it on your plate. So here's your 5-minute morning upgrade. No overwhelm, no overthinking. Tomorrow morning, don't try to overhaul your entire routine. Just pick one of the 5 foods we talked about. If you want stability and muscle support, start with oats and pumpkin seeds. If you need a circulation boost, try watermelon on an empty stomach. For hormone and nerve fuel, go with 2 hard-boiled eggs. If you want a vascular turbocharge, sip 200 milliliters of fresh beetroot juice. And if you're aiming to support testosterone and nerve regeneration over time, add 1 or 2 Brazil nuts. The key is consistency, making a small choice every morning that builds into a powerful habit over weeks and months. Remember, your body listens to what you do repeatedly, not occasionally. Even 2 weeks of consistent action can start a chain reaction you'll feel in your energy, your movement, and your confidence. I've seen men in their 60s, 70s, even late 80s transform, not by chasing extreme diets or expensive supplements, but by feeding their body the right fuel at the right time. When you choose purpose over habit, you send a message to your body. I'm still here. I still care. I'm not giving up. That message matters more than you think, because your first meal isn't just about calories. It's about setting the tone for your energy, your strength, and your confidence for the rest of the day. So tomorrow morning, take those 5 minutes. Eat with intention. Fuel your body like it still matters, because it does. And when you start your day this way, you're not just eating breakfast. You're building a stronger, more vibrant version of yourself, one bite at a time.